Welcome to Release Readiness Live. I'm Elna Miller, your community moderator. I'm going to be with you all week so we can talk about some of the great new features in Winter 19 release across all the major clouds. And today we're starting with Sales Cloud this morning. And what I love about Release Readiness Live is that no matter what type of trailblazer you are, whether this is your first Salesforce release or your 20th, you are in for a treat. Our product managers are right here in the studio. They're going to do live demos, and they're going to take some of your questions on the air. And speaking of questions, I'm very excited to welcome back our original community rock star, Sam Acuff, who's going to tell us how that works.
Thank you very much, Elna. So I am so excited to be back. The best place for you to ask your questions is in the Trailblazer community, and specifically the Release Readiness Trailblazer community. That way we can provide very thoughtful and thorough answers in that location. Now, we can also take your questions in Twitter as well. The most important thing for us to be able to find your questions is that you use the hashtag Salesforce Live on any question you post, whether that's in the community or whether that's out in Twitter. Now, we do have a policy that we started a long time ago. No questions are left behind. If we don't get to your question on the air, we will be responding to those questions throughout the week. So we won't leave any of your questions behind. So please ask a ton of questions. And Elna, I'm going back to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Sam. So we are recording as well, so you'll be able to watch this back anytime you like. And we are going to be covering the roadmap today, which means we're going to be making some forward-looking statements. So please make any purchasing decisions based on currently available functionality. And now, let's meet our product managers, starting with Haidong. Welcome.
Thank you, Elna. Hi, my name is Haidong Song. I'm a product manager within Sales Cloud. I have been within Sales Cloud for 6 years. I'm so excited to share with you some of new features in my area for territory-based forecasting roll-up. And because it's so exciting, I want to be here second time if you have seen me in the summer release readiness. So I want to share the message again.
Welcome back, Haidong. Hi, I'm Rebecca Lee. I'm a Sales Cloud product manager as well, and I've been with Salesforce for about 7 months. I'm really excited to talk to you today about our productivity features.
Thanks, Rebecca. I'm Bonnie Parisi, and I'm really excited to be here to talk to you about Sales Cloud Einstein. We have some awesome new features coming up in the Winter 19 release, and we're going to share them as well as show a demo.
And I'm Liz Skates with the Analytics Cloud. I'm excited to share with you all the great new features in operational analytics. You'll see how you can now customize your views of Lightning reports and dashboards in so many new ways now.
Thank you so much. And so, Haidong, we're going to start with you with core sales.
Great. Thank you so much, Elna. So within Sales Cloud, we focus on the new feature and products that help you and your sales organization to be more productive, more effective. We want to help you and your team to build a strong pipeline, be able to improve your productivity and close more deals. And with Einstein, we want to making sure we can provide in-context proactive insight so the reps and the teams can do all of these things more effectively and more efficiently. In the next couple of slides, I want to share with you some of the enhancements we brought in the core SFA features in the Winter 19 release. Let's start with campaign management. With Winter 19, we brought in new feature capabilities to the campaign members and campaign influence filtered list. With campaign members, you can filter based on either leads or context attributes so that you can quickly get to the list of campaign members that you want to focus on and directly take action within the filter list without need to go back to another page. With campaign influence, you can filter down to the model that has been defined either based on Salesforce or based on the customer model that you have created. If you are using both Salesforce and Pardot, now that you're in luck, you can now easily connect your Pardot campaigns to the Salesforce campaign in the main Sales Cloud product. So you can take advantage of the full CRM campaign capabilities like campaign hierarchies, campaign influence, as well as collaboration with the rest of your teams. If you are our Pardot customers, we are so excited to announce the GA of Pardot in Lightning apps. Salesforce has gone all in into the Lightning platform, and Pardot has that too. What it means is that now you will have a unified login to both Salesforce and Pardot apps. You can also customize your navigation so that you can quickly get to all the marketing information you need at your fingertips. That will provide you with 360-degree view into all the marketing activities and provides you with deep insights into your marketing performance via the B2B marketing analytics available. So we are so excited with that. Hopefully you can take advantage of this to use with the most intelligent CRM in the product. We're also moving towards to making sure we can help you and the rest of your team to be compliant for privacy compliance as well as the new GDPR and other legislations. So we provide support for deterministic encryption with the matching and deduplication rules to making sure all these potentially personal identifying information are encrypted and we left no stone unturned. We are also providing matching capabilities, deduplication, and alert capability for the new individual objects, which are used to capture all the privacy selection from individual members to making sure we can have one single source of truth for all the privacy choices from our end users. Previously, you are adding account team members one by one by one. Now that behavior is over within Winter 19 release. In Winter 19 release, you can add all your account team members simultaneously on the same screen. So that will let users to have more time to focus on rest of the activities on their to-do list. We're also bringing in the sharing set capability for support of our contact to multiple accounts capabilities. You can define a sharing set so that you customize your access control for the contact associated with multiple accounts. This capability currently is in beta, so if you're interested, please contact our support team to enable that in your organizations. And for those customers using our territory management capability, my dear features in my heart, you now would be able to trigger territory assignment on account update within Lightning, in addition to be able to do it in Classic. Of course, we have not forgot about pipeline and opportunity management. In Winter 19, we added additional capabilities so that when you are changing the owner of your opportunity, you have more choices. For example, you can now decide to keep the opportunity teams or to retain the ad rights for the previous owners. This way, if there is any changes in the sales team coverage, you can make sure that appropriate access and appropriate team member are retained on the opportunity to maintain business continuity. We also introduced the transfer record perm for Lightning. Previously, you have that available so that the users without added access on the opportunity can transfer the opportunity to other users. If you're using this perm in Classic, please contact your account team so that we can include you in this closed beta for Lightning access. Also, we are adding more and more features into our forecasting capabilities. Within Winter 19, we allow you to be able to share your forecast directly on the UI. Previously, this is only available in API. Now we brought this onto the UI, so end user can do all of these actions without need to trouble the IT or any other backend admins. With this capability, sales managers or even sales reps can delegate their forecasting in the event of say for example, vacation, extend business travel, or sales team coverage change, to making sure all of things will not disrupt the forecasting, will not disrupt the business operations. We also introduced new breadcrumb navigations as well as jump to capability so that forecasting users and managers would be able to get to the right forecasting page quickly. And also, if you are using product family forecasting or any other forecasting that may have a lot of rows to be showing up, and sometimes some of the rows have 0 values in there, we introduce the hide the 0 capabilities into the Lightning forecasting so that you can hide those rows unnecessary and directly focus on the right values and on the right information you need to work on. Now to my most exciting features I want to share with you, territory-based forecasting. This has been a couple of years in the making, and we are excited to bring this on as a GA in Winter 19 release. What it does is that now you can roll up your forecasting based on your territory hierarchy, in addition to the ability to roll up your forecasting based on your role hierarchy. So if you have a matrix reporting structure in your sales organization, now you can view your forecasting through multiple dimensions and get to better slice and dice of the right data. We also introduced territory-based filter scopes for opportunity list view, so reps can be seeing all the opportunities across all the territories they are assigned to and directly act upon on those opportunities directly in the filtered list. Now let me switch to some demo to show you all this capability in live. First, I logged in as marketing manager looking at all my campaign members. When you look at all the campaign members, typically a campaign contains various members from either the leads or the opportunity. If I want to focus just on the contacts or leads, I can filter it down based on either contact or the leads attributes, or I can filter on the common attributes, for example, like the first name, last name, or the email, those common attributes across both objects. So this way, you can quickly get to the information directly based on the objects you want to focus on. And also we have inline edit capabilities, so you can directly operate on those records directly on the filter list without need to go to drill down into each individual records. Now let me share with you what we have introduced into the account capabilities. Within the account objects, we have introduced the multi-add capability onto account team. Now you can add multiple reps onto the same account and specify the type of role they will play into the account team, and also provide them the right type of access to account, case, opportunity, and also potentially the contact object. This way we can making sure we can add all the necessary teams that would be working with us on the team selling to serve the right customer. If you have more than 3 people to add, you can always add more rows so that you can do all of this within the same screen. And if there is any changes to the account attributes that might lead to the reassignment of the account to a different territory, for example, in the event of account location change to a different country, to different states, or even to a different city, or sometimes in the merger acquisition scenarios, the revenue or the number of employee change would warrant a change in the account assignment. We can make the change and select this box. This way, when you say the update account records, the territory assignment will be triggered and the account will be reassigned to the appropriate territory and the appropriate rep to making sure they have the correct coverage from your organizations. in terms of making sure they continue coverage from the rep perspective, we are doing exactly the same thing on the opportunity. So in the event of sales team change, owner change, on the opportunity, you would also be able to have the options to keep the current opportunity teams and or retain the edit rights for the previous owner. For example, if you're taking over from other team members on the opportunity, but you want making sure you can get the information from that team member that move out of this opportunity, so you want to making sure he or she has the edit capability to help you during the transition period of time. This way we can making sure appropriate access is granted during the transition and also business continuity is ensured in this process. Once we're done with the pipeline management, let's move on to look at forecasting. Currently, I'm logged in as Justin and looking at the forecasting from my role hierarchy, reporting hierarchy. This oftentimes reflects your HR reporting structure. So I can see all my subordinates. For example, from Mary's forecasting, there has been some adjustment. I can drill down to see Mary's subordinates and her team's forecasting, and using breadcrumb, I can quickly jump back to my own forecasting navigation back and forth. Since I will be on vacation next week, I would be able to share my forecasting with another team member, so I want to making sure Jonathan will be able to cover for me next week so that Jonathan will be able to both view and edit the forecasting. I also want to review who else has already been able to granted sharing access to my forecasting. So this way I can either revoke their shared delegate access or I can modify their access level. So by doing this enabled forecast sharing, I can ensure that in my absence, I would be able to, all my team's forecasting will be correctly reviewed and submitted to my superior and making sure all of the information are included in the business reports. I have reviewed all my forecasting based on my HR reporting structure. Now, since I'm also responsible for the Americas territory, I want to switch off to the territory-based forecasting roll-up. In the territory-based forecasting roll-up, you are not looking at forecasting from HR reporting perspective, but from the territory roll-up perspective. So I can see within my Americas region, I can see Canada, US. I can further drill down into various sub-regions and drill down even further. Say, for example, from US, I can drill down into US East and drill down into further into sub-regions. This way, I can look at all my forecasting from the territory sales team structure perspective. And this is great if you have a matrix reporting structure in your sales team with both geo-based overlay, named account, or other type of sales hierarchies. Since you can see that I may have a lot of empty rows in the current months, if I want to save off some of the real estate off screen, I can select to hide the zeros. You can see all the rows with 0 values in them now has been hidden, so I can directly focus on those forecasting needs my attention and needs my review. So this is the capability we have introduced in the Winter 19 release. Hopefully you will like it and be excited as we are.
Thank you. I'm very excited about the new account team screen. I love that. And also the forecasting features with territory management. That's awesome. And I bet we have some questions from our audience, so let's hear from them. And let's take maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 quick questions before we move on.
Alrighty, so first of all, we have some major shout outs around forecasting and territory management. So Erica, Alex, thank you for those shout outs. Hi, Carol. It's very nice to see you as well. So let's go to these great questions. Cindy is asking, when an account, contact, or an opportunity is reassigned based on the territory rules, are both parties notified?
Currently, by default, we do not directly notify. Of course, you can write a customization using Apex to notify those folks because all the assigned information are directly recorded and easily accessible either on the UI or via the API.
And I love this question. Brittany is asking, does the campaign member inline editor change both the campaign member record and the contact record?
Great question. Inline editing is directly contained within the realm of the release list, so the change will only be related to the campaign member itself, not related to the contact or the leads record.
And we have one quick question from Friday. People were asking about the clone opportunity process and being able to clone opportunities and their products. Where are we at with that?
Again, another great question, and thank you so much for your patience. This is still on our roadmap. We're evaluating the technical capability and architecture, how to best achieve it. So please stay tuned. We will provide update in subsequent releases.
All right. Thank you so much, Haidong. And keep the questions coming. We're going to follow up with you after the webcast, so keep them coming, especially in the community. So now I'm going to hand it over to Rebecca, and she's going to talk about Salesforce Einstein features.
Thanks, Elena. I'm actually really excited to talk to you about productivity features today.
Productivity.
No worries. And let's start with activity management. So in Winter 19, calendar and tasks are all about saving you time and clicks. Recurring events are a really great way to stay in touch with your accounts without really having to think about it. So available in beta this release, you can schedule event series recurring daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly, and you can always reschedule an individual event if a conflict arises. You can also use Salesforce Lightning Sync to bidirectionally sync your events between Salesforce and Office 365 and Outlook. We've also added some time-saving features to tasks by adding reminders to quick actions. Now, in the past, when you create a task, if you wanted to add a reminder, you'd have to first save the task, then edit it, and add the reminder. Now, you can update your Create Task quick actions to include reminders from the get-go. So as soon as you save the task, your reminder is automatically saved as well. Also, we've added quick text on activities. So quick text is a really great way. If you find yourself typing the same phrase or paragraph over and over again, simply save it as quick text, and then now you've got a tool on your event description fields or your task comments where you can, with the click of a button, insert that text. Now, on to Kanban. So Kanban, this release, is all about helping you find the records you're looking for quickly. Now, think about recently viewed, which is shown here. You might think that recently viewed is a regular list view, but technically it's actually your most recent search results for that object. And in the past, recently viewed did not support Kanban, but in Winter 19, it does. So now you can use Kanban view on recently viewed for almost any object. Also, to help you find exactly the record you're looking for, we've added a search bar. So you can just type in any keyword and it'll quickly point out the record you're looking for. On to Lightning Dialer, our native calling solution built for Lightning, where call recording is now generally available in Winter 19. Perhaps you want to play back a customer call, or you just want to get some feedback so you can perfect your own pitch. Now you can save your calls, record them directly from the call panel, and they'll be saved to your files. Just be sure to let the call recipient know that you're recording them where it's required by law. Also, if you prefer to make your calls from a desk phone or a mobile phone, you'll be happy to know that this release, we're adding a call bridge feature to Dialer. So that you can easily have all of the features available with all of the perks of Lightning Dialer with all the convenience of using your business line. This may be especially useful if you're making calls via Dialer in an area with weak internet connection. Okay, and on to email, starting with email templates. In Summer 18, we introduced the concept of Email Template Home. Now, you can add files to those templates directly from your template record home. That means that your emails will always go out with the latest collateral, and you don't even have to think about it. We've also added some privacy to email templates. In the past, all Lightning templates were public. But now, when you create a template, you can save it to your own private folder until it's ready to share. With that privacy comes a new user permission called Manage Public Lightning Templates. Now, if you have this permission, you can continue to create public Lightning templates. And if you don't have the permission, you can continue to create private templates and, of course, still manage any public templates you may already own. Now, when you're ready to send that email, we've got you covered, whether you want to send it from Lightning or if you prefer to work out of your email inbox. Let's begin with integrated email in Lightning. You can now get a 360-degree view of your email engagement and activity with email open tracking for one-on-one emails. Simply view your activity timeline and you can see if and when your email was last opened for one-on-one emails. Email open tracking now also supports data privacy preferences so that you can be GDPR compliant for email tracking out of the box. If you have data privacy enabled, emails that you send from Salesforce will respect the don't process and don't track flags set on the individual object. Email bounce handling, email bounce information is now available on the lead, contact, and person account records. It tells you that your email did not reach its recipient and that the email address needs to be corrected. Once you change the email address, that bounce status will be cleared. We've also added the ability to attach files even after you've inserted a classic email template. Now, in the past, if you're using classic email template, the add file button would be grayed out because we couldn't add them. But with Winter 19, now you can add a file even after you're using a classic template. This means that you can add things that don't necessarily get attached directly to the template, for example, a customer quote. And then also, you'll see quick text again. We've added quick text to the email message as well. It used to be available via a keyboard shortcut, but in this release, we've added the tool right in the email message, so you can insert those snippets whenever you need to. Now, perhaps you prefer to work out of your email inbox, your favorite apps like Outlook and Gmail. We've got you covered. Our Salesforce email integrations for Outlook and Gmail bring you the sales context that you need right where you work in your email inbox. You can log emails to Salesforce, you can create and edit records, and you can manage your tasks and activities right where you work. Now, we've also made it easier in Winter 19 to upgrade your email experience to include the premium features available with our inbox license. Those features include things like engagement data such as email tracking, flexibility options like inserting your calendar availability from your Outlook calendar or scheduling an email to be sent later, and working with custom objects. Our email apps are really differentiated by our platform and our intelligence. You've really got to, it's really unique that you can customize your email experience using our drag and drop app builder capabilities. So you can really provide a different email experience per user profile if you want. And in Winter 19, we've made that all possible with one unified Outlook email add-in. That unified add-in is also coming to Gmail in beta this release and generally available next release, subject to the safe harbor message, of course. Okay, so let's switch to a demo to show off these great productivity features. So I'm going to begin working one of my leads today. So I'm going to start with Nancy Lee, and you can see here I'm on my activity timeline. And in my next steps, I can see that, okay, I'm supposed to call Nancy to follow up on a previous call that we had. But to do that, I need to start with a little bit of context. Luckily, I can see right down here that an email I sent to her a couple days ago, she just opened it 4 days ago. So that's great. She's an engaged prospect. It's probably a good time to reach out. You can also see over here, I've got my LinkedIn Sales Navigator integration open, so I can see some details about her profile and even get introduced by a mutual contact if I need to. And then up in the top right corner, I can see my Einstein score. Let's see what Einstein thinks of Nancy as a prospect. She's got a lead score of 95, which is pretty hot. So I'm pretty excited to make this call. I think it's going to go well. Now I'm using Dialer. So I'm going to get ready to call Nancy. and I'm simply going to click to dial. And what I want you to notice is that I'm using a call bridge. So I prefer to make my calls from my mobile phone. So dialer is first going to call my mobile phone, and then it's going to call Nancy. So we'll click, and it's dialing, and it's giving me a call. So I'm going to connect, and now I'm calling Nancy, and hopefully she'll pick up. You can see that I've got, oh, there she is. So great, Nancy's available. I'm going to let her know that I'm going to record this call, if it's okay with her. I simply press the button here, and now we're recording, and this is going to be saved for me later. Maybe I take some notes. We have a great call. I thank her for her time, and I want to make sure that this call is auto-logged. You can see that's checked down here. So when I end the call, you'll note that my recording is being processed and I can find it in files, and my call is automatically logged. So that was great. I'm going to go ahead and close that task because I've completed it. And I like to follow up my, my calls with an email. So I'm going to go right here to the Send Email Composer, and to be standardized, I'm going to use a template that was provided by SalesOps. So I'm going to insert an email template here. Lead follow-up email template, but I don't like to just send the form template. I like to personalize it a little bit. So I'm going to add my touch. And because I like to have this personalized template, I don't want everybody to have the same personalization that I use. So I'm going to save this as a new template. And I'm going to put that, this is my personalized template, and I'm going to put that in my private email template folder. I save that, and I'm all set. All I have to do is hit send. Attach files, and this email is on its way to Nancy. Okay, now I'm going to do one more thing. I want to set a follow-up task to get in touch with Nancy later. So I'm going to go over and create a new task, and we've made this so easy. When you click subject, I'm just going to hit follow-up. It's already pre-populated for me. I'm going to use some quick text right here with the quick text tool. I've already got what I usually put in my follow-up tasks. And you can see that my reminder is already set. So when I save this task, my reminder is automatically generated. All right, that was super easy. I'm all done following up on my leads. I'm just going to go back to my tasks and see what else is there for today. I love my Kanban view. You can see that I'm in recently viewed and everything is laid out for me. And I have a task to schedule a recurring team meeting. So I'm going to quickly jump over to my calendar and show you how easy this is. I'm going to schedule a new event, just like you would. This is our team meeting. Any details that need to happen. And I'm going to click this repeat checkbox that's in beta. I want this to recur weekly. Every week on Monday is fine. And everything else is all set. I hit save, and now my event series is saved, and you can see that it occurs every week on Monday, just like I would expect. So I'm done with that task. I'm going to go back to my Kanban view and drag this card over to the completed section, and I'm done. And that was basically it. How fast was that?
Wow, so much to love there. I don't even know where to start. I mean, it's the Kanban recently viewed. That's huge. I really am interested to know how the call bridge works as well, and some of the email integration. So, and if you're interested in that too, we'll love to hear from you in the community. Maybe we can give you some more details on how that actually works. But I bet we've heard a lot already from those of you out there. So, Sam, what questions do we have, and what are people saying?
Oh, there's tons of excitement, especially around the email open. So Cindy asks a great question. She wants to understand if they need to be using Einstein for the email open activity on the timeline. Is that required?
No, I don't believe they need to be using Einstein. I believe you do have to have enhanced email turned on.
Very nice. Okay, and then there's a lot of questions. Will the keyboard shortcuts still work for quick text? So that's from Richard.
That's a great question. I would have to check with the product manager for that particular area, but we can definitely do that and get back to you.
And one more, Elna.
Yeah, we have maybe one or two more.
Okay, great. So Alistair is asking, does the dialer require an ACD, an automatic call dialing system, or can it send calls straight out from a global phone system? I thought that was a great question. There's a lot of interest in that.
That is a great question. Again, I would have to check with the product manager for dialer, but I'm sure he could give you all the details on that.
Great. So we'll answer that, Alistair, in the community for you. And then Joseph is asking, I understand that there'll be a public Lightning email folder and my private folder. Will there be other folders that we can organize and share with groups, just like we had in Classic, or is that on the roadmap anywhere?
I believe we do have additional foldering coming up on the roadmap, so stay tuned for our roadmap slide.
All right, Elna, back to you.
Thank you, Sam. Great questions. And if we have time at the end, we'll see if we can get a few more in there before we wrap up. So now I'm going to hand it over to Bonnie, who is definitely doing Einstein, right?
I am definitely doing Einstein.
Got it.
And I am super excited to talk about some of the new capabilities. But I want to just start on Einstein and why Einstein is so important. And I think we all agree we're all being inundated with data these days. Between the structured data in our CRM if we're sales reps and all this unstructured data. Rebecca just talked about some of it in emails, call notes that we take. And to be a really good sales rep, you need to make sense out of all of this. And that's exactly what Einstein is all about, and intelligent automation. It's all about taking both of these kinds of data and adding intelligent automation, so as a sales rep, you know exactly what to do with actionable sales insights, like what is your forecast telling you you're going to land at the end of the month? Or what is the next lead with the highest potential, so you know who to call next? And that's what Sales Cloud Einstein is all about. We focus on 3 key areas. The first one is all about boosting win rates. Sales Cloud Einstein gives you insight into scores for your leads and opportunities, so you know the lead that's most likely to convert or the opportunity that's most likely to close as one, so you know you're always focused on the right thing at the right time. Next up is all about pipeline trends with analytics. We've been in the CRM business a long time, so we know the reports that sales teams need to be successful. And with Sales Cloud Einstein, we package over 20 different dashboards with the KPIs that you need to analyze your business and understand how to continue to nurture that business to success. And then lastly, Sales Cloud Einstein is all about productivity. We all know that really nobody likes to enter data, especially not sales reps. Yet data is the key to a robust CRM. And so now with automatic data capture tools to capture emails and calendar events, reps can focus on what they do best, which is selling. So now let's go into some of the new capabilities in the Winter 19 release with Sales Cloud Einstein. First up, Einstein Forecasting. We released Einstein Forecasting as generally available in the summer release, and we've seen a lot of great success with our customers using it. But we know we had to take it further because people customize their orgs all the time. So with the Winter 19 release, your custom fields on the opportunity object are now included in the Einstein forecast, generating even more accurate results for your forecast. And we also know that you know your business better than anyone. And some of these fields may not be relevant to be included in that Einstein model. So we give you the opportunity to tune your predictions, to actually tell Einstein which custom fields to exclude from the opportunity. Next up is Einstein Opportunity Scoring and Lead Scoring. These are 2 features that make it super easy to get started with Sales Cloud Einstein. Their enablement is a single toggle to get Einstein started generating that custom model for your org. And just like in Einstein Forecasting, with Opportunity Scoring, Einstein is now considering and including the custom opportunity fields on the opportunity object. So that is now included in the data science model. You'll also see that some of those fields will show up in the factors that Einstein delivers, which gives you the rationale behind why the score is what it is, helping you understand the basis for what Einstein is telling you. Opportunity and account insights have been part of Einstein from the start, and this is all about surfacing the important insights that you need to understand what the best next action is to take on the deals that are in flight. And with the Winter 19 release, we have a new insight type as beta, opportunity is an outlier. So if you're used to working deals that fall within the same amount and an opportunity comes in at a much higher amount, you'd want to know right away. An opportunity as an outlier is exactly that insight type. It will surface to you that opportunity so that you can dive in immediately and do what's needed to give that opportunity the attention it needs. And now you can take your opportunity and account insights anywhere you go because they're available on your Salesforce mobile app. Moving on to Einstein Activity Capture, which is all about productivity, the productivity I spoke about before. Einstein Activity Capture allows reps to automatically log emails and events. That's a ton of data entry that reps no longer have to do. And with the Summer 18 release, we announced that EAC is now standard for Sales Cloud. So there's no reason why you can't take advantage of automatic capture even today. We've also enhanced the product to allow actions on email insights. Those email insights that are now showing up in your activity timeline that you love because they're alerting you when something important happens, you can take action directly from there by clicking on reply or looking up an executive profile, saving you clicks and tons of time to address what's needed immediately. And in the Winter 19 release, what we have generally available custom insights. This is really a game changer because we all know that businesses operate differently. And maybe you have something that's gone out recently where, again, you want to know immediately when somebody sends you an email. Well, custom insights is your answer to that. Perhaps you're prepping for Dreamforce next week and you have an event started and you've sent out an email blast about that. Well, anytime somebody replies, you want to get back to them right away. So you can configure a custom email insight to surface some of the keywords that you might see, like Dreamforce, DF18, promo, so that you're alerted as soon as someone's reaching out regarding that promotion. And then lastly on EAC, we have activity metrics in a pilot mode. This is all about focusing on the different metrics on your activities. So the number of emails you've sent, the number of calls, the date since last activity, so that you can analyze that information and understand what actions to take next. We also have recommended connections now in the Lightning experience. Some of you have probably been enjoying it in mobile, and now you can experience it right in the Lightning experience. Recommended connections allows you to find connections that your internal connections have contacts with, your contacts, your person accounts, or your leads. But not only that, we give you the rationale behind why that connection is recommended, as well as the strength. So you really understand the connection that those two people have. This is also flexible within a Lightning component. You can configure it to show up to 10 connections and sort them by signal strength so that you can always target the strongest connection first. Now, you're probably all sitting there thinking, I really should be turning on Einstein for my org. All of these features seem too good to be true, but how do I know if Einstein's right? I mentioned a lot about data and how important it is to have data in your CRM. And the great news is we have a Sales Cloud Einstein Readiness report. So today you can log in and run the assessor, and it will analyze your org and create a personalized Einstein Readiness report to tell you which Einstein features you're ready for today and which might need a little bit more work. But we also heard from you, and now in the Winter 19 release, you can actually run the assessor in Sandbox. This tells you which features in Sandbox you can turn on. Now, we do recommend that you only turn on features in Sandbox to validate things like your technical architecture or your Lightning components or workflow, because Sandbox data typically doesn't have the same amount of data, so it's not the best place to validate the results that the Einstein model is giving you, since they're likely to be different in production. All right, well now let's switch to a demo and show you some of these awesome features in action. So here I am in my org. I'm actually starting in setup because, as I mentioned, there are a ton of awesome features for the admin to configure this release. So if I search for Einstein Forecasting, I get to the Einstein Forecasting setup screen. And right there, you can see Optimize Predictions, giving you the power to tune your prediction. You can see that we can now tell Einstein what data to configure, and it's super simple to set up. You click the setup, and next, And right there, there's a toggle. You can either use all the opportunity fields, or you can tell Einstein to ignore certain opportunity fields. It's that easy to configure and tune the model for your Einstein forecasting. Next, we're going to go into Email Insights. There we go. So we talked about those new custom insights that you can create. Also super simple to configure in your org. You simply click New, and as I mentioned, there's a big Dreamforce promo that we're sending out because we're going to meet everybody here in San Francisco next week. And you can set a number of different keywords to look for, like Dreamforce, DF18, promo, and then whenever an email comes in with those keywords, you'll be surfaced a custom insight that you can then go back to your customer and have a meaningful dialogue right away. Now let's switch to the end user view and see what they see using Einstein. So here we are on the home screen. Right away, you can see Einstein Forecasting in action, showing you the Einstein predictions to a number of the KPIs that you already track. Einstein prediction to quota, Einstein prediction to commit, and you can see that that Einstein forecast gives you a range of prediction so that you know about where your forecast is going to land within some level of accuracy. You can also see your Einstein insights on the right-hand side. And now let's go into an opportunity. I noticed right away I can see the insights on my list view, and I saw that this GTX Plus widget insight is boosting. It's boosting because of an increase in email volume that suggests the deal is more likely to be won. So I want to start to get into some of that email correspondence and understand what needs to be done. I click on my key contact, Sarah, and what I can see is I can filter for email insights only. Right away, I see that there's some recent emails where an executive is involved. I definitely want to take action right away, so I can click on that, and with a single click, I can reply straight from that standard insight in my activity timeline. I can draft a quick reply and send it away to Sarah, optimizing the time spent with fewer clicks. Now let's go back and review where we get to that Einstein assessor so that you can take advantage of some of these awesome features. Straight from setup, you just simply type in the assessor, and right from there you can log in to your org, your production org, or as mentioned in the Winter 19 release, there's your login with Sandbox option, and it's really this easy. I'm going to just click. I'm going to log in with my admin user, and then within minutes, a personalized assessor report will be sent to your inbox with all of the details of what you need to understand which Einstein features you're ready for today and what else you need to do to enable some of the other ones. And that's all I have for you today. Everybody go out there and run your assessor so that you can start taking advantage of some of these awesome features.
That is great advice, and thank you so much, Bonnie. And that Einstein Activity Capture, that's one that caught my eye. That one, there's so many great enhancements to that. And just a reminder, that's standard, so there's no extra cost for anyone using Sales Cloud licenses. They can go ahead and be enabled. A couple things you need to set it up, but definitely try that out if you have Sales Cloud. And I'm sure there are some questions out there, so Sam, over to you.
All right, thanks, Elna. So tons of questions, but I just want to, that was a mic drop moment for me when I heard about Einstein Activity Capture. So I just posted in the Release Readiness community the help and training link to exactly take you into that so you can understand what you could go set up today. And I'm going to challenge you, set it up, try it out, put your results in the community, because we'd love to hear what you have to think about that, because that was a mic drop. Okay, so rapid fire questions. Will Einstein for Leads and Opportunities work for partners in the Nepali Lightning community?
So right now we are the Einstein and the opportunity scoring and lead scoring come back directly into your org, and we are exploring other options for supporting that through our partner community.
Thank you very much. And Brandon has been patiently waiting. He was the first question this morning in the community. He asks, I have heard behavior for Einstein Activity Capture is expected to revert back to previous behavior where activities are logged as tasks or events inside of Salesforce. He'd like to know if that's true, and can it be reported on, and can it trigger automated processes. So I have a feeling that Brandon is a process builder kind of guy.
So in the current release, those activities that you're getting from Einstein Activity Capture are what we call crawled activities. So they're not represented as tasks or activities in the database itself. I will have to check with our product owner specifically on that feature to see if that is coming up on our roadmap. But with our new pilot for activity metrics, you are actually getting a lot of robust capabilities around all of the metrics that are being captured with Einstein Activity Capture.
Okay, thank you for that, and thank you for your patience while we're getting to that section of the release presentation today. And so Jolene is asking, can you clarify if there is some or what Einstein functionality is available just with the Sales Cloud license? And I think we've answered that, but I want to make sure, Jolene, it's very clear.
It's Einstein Activity Capture for up to 100 users with the standard Sales Cloud license.
Great.
Thank you so much, Sam, and thank you for your questions. Keep them coming. We're going to follow up with you after the webcast because right now we've got more for you, and you're definitely not going to want to miss Liz because she's going to be talking about operational analytics, aka reports and dashboards.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elna. So with Winter 19, now you can more easily find your reports and dashboards or folders with this new quick search option when you're viewing your lists. And not only that, I'm really excited about all the new ways you can customize the way you view your reports and dashboards with the Enhanced Report Run page, which is in beta status for Winter 19. All your Lightning users will have the ability to opt in to this beta, so there's no need for an admin to enable this. Every user will see, when they're running a report, a button to switch to using the Enhanced Report Run page. And on this page, you have one click that you need to, just one click to toggle details on and off. You have the ability to drill down on particular groupings you're interested in. You can change the groupings that you see on the report. For a summary report, you can sort your groupings by the different aggregates. And for a matrix report, we have this cool new way for you to see the detail rows for a specific row and column grouping that you're interested in. And editing joined reports is now available in the Lightning Report Builder as a beta. So if the admin had turned on joined reports for your org, not only can you view those joined reports in Lightning, but you can also make edits, such as changing the groupings or adding a chart to your joined report. And last but not least, not last, speaking of adding charts, your dashboard charts now can also be configured with decimal places and axis ranges. So there's a lot more flexibility in those charts as well. And now the last thing, though, is with your subscriptions. If you shared your reports or dashboards with users in particular roles or groups, now, when you're subscribing to those reports or dashboards, you can also add those roles or groups as recipients to your subscription. This is available in pilot for this release, so please contact Daniel Glogowski at the email address listed there if you would like to join the pilot. Now, let's switch over to the demo so that you can see how these features work in action. So here I am logged into Lightning, looking at the Reports tab, and you'll see that now there's a quick search option available to me for whichever list I'm looking at. So here I'm looking at my recent reports. So within my recent reports, I'm going to look for my One Opportunities report. I have several of them. Let's look at this One Opportunities This Year report. And when I click on it, here's my normal run page where I see all my One Opportunities, but now there's this button to switch to the Enhanced Run page. And on this Run page, I see now there are actually checkboxes for next to my groupings so that I could say, hey, I'm interested in one or more of the groupings in this report, but not all of them. And now there's a button to drill down on just the groupings that I was interested in. And I could also, if I wanted to, change how these records are grouped. Maybe I don't want them grouped by type, but by opportunity owner. And so now I see all the opportunities won based on who won them. And then I can also choose to change how the groupings are sorted. So I want to see who closed the most business. So I'll sort this in descending order. And I see that Liz has done really good. She sold the most of this team. And let's see, I can also expand the filter icon and see all the filters applied to me. Now this is pretty cool. I'm really excited about this. Some of you have created custom filters on your reports. So you can have a lot of filters, but you can also choose to have ors or ands or nots in your filter logic. Well, with this enhanced report run page, just because you have custom filter logic doesn't mean it's now not editable. Even on the run page, now with custom filter logic, you can still modify each of those values. So I could say, hey, I want to modify this so it only returns deals that are worth more than 100,000. And this is the really cool part. If you've done a lot of custom filter logic changes, you might have run into this issue where when you tried to delete a filter, you would be told to modify the custom filter logic before you could delete it. Guess what? You can just click this X here, and the custom filter logic is automatically update. That's what we call smart deletion, and I think it just makes your life so much easier. This is available both when you're viewing the report as well as when you're editing the report in the Lightning Report Builder. Now, if you were looking at a matrix version of this report, so here's a matrix version where I have it not just grouped by the owner, but also by the close date by quarter. A cool thing is, maybe if I'm interested in only looking at the deals that belong to Liz that were closed in or won in Q3, I can just click on that intersection. And now I see the 6 deals that were that belong to that row and column grouping. One more thing I wanted to point out. In the Lightning Report Builder, I'm in the Lightning Report Builder now. A lot of you had been asking for this ability to change the currency for your report. And so now, by default, you're going to have the ability to create your report based on your currency, but you can also change the report's currency depending on what other currencies are available for your org. And so then they would occur, once you choose a different currency, it would now appear in the amount converted columns, as well as in your subtotals. It will be the currency that you choose. Now let's go back over to joined reports. So if I'm looking for a joined report that I had, and if I had, there are several options now for the joined report. So I can edit in the beta with a Lightning Report Builder, or if you want to do more complex edits, you can go back to Salesforce Classic. It has all the capabilities that you're used to. And then if there's a chart on that dashboard, on that joined report, you can add it to a dashboard now. So I can click Add to Dashboard. And let's say I want to add my chart for the joined report to an existing one, to the current year sales dashboard, let's say. Then I have to use the chart from the joined report, which is fine. I'm going to add that. Now it appears in my dashboard. And then I can continue making other edits to my dashboard. Let's say I want to change how this gauge chart is showing up. And it says we've closed 2.4 million Canadian dollars this year, but I like to get more specific. So now there's this new option called decimal places, where I can say, hey, I want 2 decimal places worth of information. So now I see that we actually closed 2.36 million this year. And maybe for the sales leaderboard chart, I could change the axis rows. So there's this x-axis range area now, and I could customize that. So right now the scale is to 1 million, so I want to make it look like I was doing really well. So I'm going to just make that a lot tighter. So now I've expanded this my bar chart here a little bit. And now I can save those changes and click Done. Now, one thing you might want to notice is that this dashboard is saved in a folder called Company Dashboards. And in that folder, if I look at where this folder has been shared, it's been shared to a public group called All Internal Users, some other users, and also people in the channel sales team role. Now that means that if I run this dashboard, or I'm in this dashboard, current year sales dashboard, and I want to subscribe to it, I could subscribe to just that dashboard and have it sent to me on a regular basis, but I could add other recipients, including all those people and roles that were shared that dashboard. So I could say, hey, not only me, but anyone in a channel sales team role or in the all internal users public group can receive this subscription. And there we have it. So this is a recap of all the features available in Winter 19 for operational analytics. For Einstein Analytics, please be sure to tune in later this afternoon at 11:45.
All right, I gotta say, mind blown. Some of those features. Wow, now if you have not tried reports and dashboards in Lightning Experience, what are you waiting for? Do it now, today. Yeah, check all those new features out, plus what's already available is amazing. And that quick search, I'm gonna be using that as soon as it's available in our Salesforce org. And the sharing, that was an interesting point that you showed, that you first need to share the folder before you can subscribe to those groups.
So yeah, right? So this, because we know that you share dashboards with only certain people, you don't want anyone to just receive subscriptions if they don't have access to the dashboard. So we want to make sure that you've shared it, and so we match that against who has access to that folder of dashboards.
Perfect, that's great, thank you. Now I bet you have lots of questions as well, so we have about, I'd say about 5 minutes for questions.
Alrighty, so shout out from Emily. She says, my boss is going to love report drill downs. So I know that I am going to love that too. I'm going to ask a question. For joined reports, I'm a big reporting person. Are they going to be available on dashboards that have filters built into the dashboard?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm sure you can add the join reports, but in terms of applying filters to them, let me get back to you on that capability.
Great. All right. Thank you. Sorry to hit a hard ball your way, but I'm betting other people have those same questions. So let me go back to the community. By the way, lots of shout outs on smart deletion. Can we deploy schedule joined reports? If not now, is that on somewhere on the roadmap?
Yeah, so subscriptions for join reports is not yet available. It is on the roadmap.
Okay, alrighty. And then, Elna, I still have some questions that came from some previous sections. Can I do a quick little rapid fire?
Sure.
Alrighty. Okay, so let me get to one. Will Lightning for Outlook allow syncing of repeating events from Outlook to Salesforce?
Lightning for Outlook. So I believe you'd want to use the Salesforce Lightning Sync capability in order to get your emails your events synced between Outlook and Salesforce.
Thank you very much. And then Cindy is asking, do we have the ability to set up repeated tasks as well as events?
That's one I think we're going to have to check with the product manager on, but we can get back to you on that.
Great. And Elna, how much time?
Maybe one more.
All right. So I'm still getting a lot of questions about Einstein Activity Capture and what is exactly available in the Sales Cloud now. So if we could just have a really quick recap on that, because that's a very exciting thing for people.
Sure. So Einstein Activity Capture is now standard with your Sales Cloud license, and that gives up to 100 users the ability to enable via permission set that Einstein Activity Capture, which automatically logs emails and calendar events from your email into Salesforce associated with the right records.
And is that related to Classic and or Lightning? Are there some boxes around this, or is this a Lightning feature?
This is a Lightning feature.
Great. All right. Elna, back to you.
All right. So I did mention earlier that we're going to be talking about some roadmap. So let's take a quick look at what's coming in the future.
Great. I would love to just give some highlights that are coming in all of the areas that we've talked about today. So first, under core sales, as you know, territory management is near and dear to Haidong's heart, and we are doubling down on a lot of that territory management and forecasting capability in the upcoming release, both with sharing groups for territory, or sharing rules with territory groups, and if you're using that product family to forecast, that's going to actually come into your territory hierarchy as well in an upcoming release. Under productivity, you can see the list is almost off the page. As Rebecca mentioned, LFG and inbox consolidation will be coming to generally available in the next release, along with a recurring event, some of those cool capabilities that she showed you. Also some lightning dialer enhancements, which really make it a productive tool to use for all of your dialing. In Sales Cloud Einstein, we're focusing on things like the ROI assessor. So we're taking that assessor to a new level where we'll actually be able to tell you the return you'll get by using Sales Cloud Einstein in your org. Not just whether or not your data is a right fit, but how much lift you'll actually see based on using some of the capabilities in Sales Cloud Einstein, as well as segmentation, because we know that people want forecasting predictions based on the geo that they're working in or on product lines. So we'll also be working on segmentation capabilities. And then lastly, in the reports and dashboards, as Liz mentioned, a ton of new capabilities coming and things coming to GA like joined reports. There's also historical tracking, subscriptions is coming to GA, conditional formatting, just a ton of new robust features to round out your reports and dashboards experience.
All right, wonderful. So keep watching us, keep watching the release readiness group and the community, because we're going to be posting all the announcements of the upcoming releases, so follow it there. And Sam, we do have a few more minutes, so if we have some burning questions still holding, we'd love to take a few of those before we wrap up, and then we'll come back a little bit later.
I do want to do a shout out for running the Einstein Assessor. I think that that's really important as you evaluate Einstein for your organization. So you should check that out, and I will post in the community the help and training article that'll help you understand where you can locate that. Brandon is asking, would love to hear more about public resource calendars in Lightning. Is that something that we can talk about today on this call?
It's something that we can talk with the calendaring PM about. It is on the roadmap, and I'm sure he'd be happy to talk about it.
All right. So, Brandon, if you could get some specific about some of your questions, and we can give you a more thoughtful and thorough answer. Rick is asking, what are the current requirements in Winter 19 for Outlook and Salesforce? Do we still need Office 365 in the cloud? What functionality do we get with non-Office 365? So some people are asking about that question. That might be a product manager thing as well, but I think other people are interested in that response.
Okay, that's good to know. I think we can get more detail from the PM who owns that and get back to you.
Okay, Rick, so that's a great question. So we'll be looking into that for you, because I think other people will want to answer or will want that same answer. And I suggest that anybody go find Rick's question and like that so you can get that response as well. We have a shout out from Justice on the recipient's elements surrounding subscribing to a given dashboard. That's great. Richard is asking a wonderful question. When you subscribe others to a report, will it count towards their subscription limits?
That's a great question. And this is actually a great answer. Only the person who subscribes is the one who truly has a subscription. And if you add other recipients, they're not truly the subscriber, they're just additional recipients. So it does not go against their subscriptions. So they can still subscribe to their own 5 reports or 5 dashboards, but they're benefiting from your subscription as a recipient.
Great. All right. And Salo, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Pretty nice, the new report capabilities, but I have one question. We are dealing with a lot with private reports, and with the new folder subfolder structure, I cannot set up visibility rules to subfolders. Any news of what we'll be able to create or different visibility for folders and subfolders?
So for Winter 19, the same permissions functionality exists for subfolders, such that the sharing is only at that top level. We do hear that a lot of people want to apply more restrictive access on subfolder levels, and so we're working to gather more info on that, and we do want to address this in the future once we have a better plan and hear from more of you on exactly how you want to apply the sharing for those subfolders.
And Matt is asking an interesting question. He's asking, is there a table somewhere that lists which Einstein features are free versus paid? I'm not sure if something like that exists, but I wanted to acknowledge that's a question that quite a few people are following. So we're going to try to help find that resource for you. Do you know of anything today?
I'm not familiar with anything today, but I know that because we've talked about Einstein Activity Capture being standard, you'll definitely get help there. And that, like we said, is free for the first, or standard with the first up to 100 users. And then Sales Cloud Einstein is a package of features that we discussed as well, which is an add-on license.
Very nicely. So just to recap, it's Einstein Activity Capture up to 100 users if you're using Sales Cloud. Beyond that, the other features of Einstein are part of Sales Cloud Einstein, which is a product that you would need to explore with your account executive. Did I get that right?
You got it perfect.
All right. Elna, how are we doing on time?
I think we can do a couple more. We still have a few minutes, but we don't want to keep people because we do want to get all ready for our next webcast a little bit later on Einstein Analytics, and Liz is going to be back for that one too, I think. So we'll be able to do more reports and dashboards questions then, but if you have any others for Core, for productivity, or for Salesforce Einstein, we can take a couple more.
Well, I just want to say Carol is saying that this is another reason to switch to Lightning when she saw the analytics features. So if you haven't switched to Lightning, now's the time. Will inner joins be part of Lightning joined report functionality? From Susan.
So Lightning joined reports is the same functionality that you have in Classic. So we haven't introduced any additional joins for joined reports, but when you're editing them now in Winter, you can change the groupings and you can change the filters.
And Squire is all over smart deletion. He's loving that, so he's doing a big shout out with analytics features that you've talked about. Lots of people are really interested in quick search, so that's exciting as well. Christopher is asking, can we ignore certain opportunity fields for Einstein Analytics and then stop ignoring those fields later? That is, can I correct mistakes by previous admins, or are they forever ignored?
So the capabilities around ignoring certain opportunity custom fields were specific to the models being produced for Einstein Forecasting and Opportunity Score. We'd have to check with the product owner to see if those same fields would be excluded as they flow to Einstein Analytics as far as tuning them.
Great. All right. And Ken is asking, well, Ken uses multiple email accounts. He has some Gmail going on and some Outlook going on. He wants to know if he can use these features with multiple accounts, or is it a one-to-one relationship between Einstein Activity Capture and Salesforce and the other products as well. So that's an interesting question.
That is an interesting question. Typically, you authenticate your email through Salesforce to the email that you use. I would have to check into that and see if you can actually authenticate into multiple emails.
I'm betting some other people have those questions as well. So we'll research that. We have a question, is your call recording associated with the contact after it's added to files? And is it saved as an independent file? How are those handled?
I'd have to check on that. I know it's available from your files, so you can absolutely look it up. I would imagine it's associated with the contact, but we can double check on that to make sure.
Great.
All right, those are some great questions. Thank you, Sam, for bringing all those up. And keep them coming. We love to hear your questions and feedback. We'll be following up with you if we didn't get to your question live. But now we're going to wrap up for this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Now, just a reminder, we did record. We are recording all the broadcasts, so you can watch it back later or share it with others. And please join us again at 11:45 a.m. Pacific today, where we will go into Einstein Analytics and some great new features there as well. And we also love your feedback, so please take a moment to fill out the survey, which I think is linked somewhere down below, and let us know what you thought, how we can improve it in the future. And now I cannot wait to hear how you are using new features to innovate. So please keep the conversation going with us, because we're all out there in the release readiness community, and we're there to help you be release ready.